It was a quiet night when Captain Jake Reynolds stood on the balcony of his spacecraft, staring into the endless stretch of stars. He had been a pilot for the Earth Federation for years, defending humanity from countless alien threats. Yet in all his time among the stars, nothing had prepared him for what was about to happen. The war with the Zarythians, an alien race known for their power and intellect, had been going on for decades. They were a mysterious species, humanoid in appearance but with strange ethereal beauty, tall with silver skin that shimmered under light, and glowing eyes that seemed to pierce through your soul. Despite their fearsome reputation, no human had ever gotten close enough to understand them. Until now. Jake's ship, the Sentinel, was caught in a battle that seemed impossible to win. Lasers and plasma fire filled the dark void of space, and his crew fought bravely. But as the enemy closed in, Jake made a risky decision: to surrender. Maybe, just maybe, they would be merciful. He ordered the surrender, and to his surprise, the Zarythians stopped their assault. Moments later, a small Zarythian ship docked with the Sentinel, and a single figure stepped out. She was tall, even taller than Jake, and her presence was overwhelming. Her silver skin glowed softly in the dim light, and her eyes, deep, blue, and glowing, focused on him. She was undeniably alien, yet there was something strangely familiar about her. It was as if she radiated both danger and allure. "I am Captain Zyrra," she said, her voice soft but commanding. "You are the leader of this human vessel?" Jake nodded, his heart pounding. He had never been so close to a Zarythian before. "Yes, I'm Captain Jake Reynolds. We surrender." Zyrra walked closer, studying him. "Surrender?" She tilted her head slightly, her gaze never leaving his. "You humans are more interesting than we imagined." There was a pause, heavy and tense. Jake could feel something strange in the air, an energy, a connection he couldn't explain. It was as if this alien captain was not just reading his words but his thoughts, his very soul. His heart raced faster, and he felt an unexplainable pull toward her. "What happens now?" Jake asked, trying to keep his voice steady. Zyrra's lips curved into the slightest smile. "That depends on you, Captain." Her hand, long and delicate, reached out and lightly brushed his cheek. Her touch sent a shock through Jake's body, but it wasn't painful. Instead, it was like a surge of warmth, something deep and powerful that made him feel alive in a way he had never felt before. It was as if she was connecting with him on a level beyond words. "Your kind has been at war with us for so long," she whispered, her glowing eyes softening. "But not all Zarythians want war. Some of us desire peace, connection." Jake stared at her, his mind swirling with confusion and curiosity. "Peace? Is that why you're here?" "Perhaps," she said, stepping even closer, her face inches from his. "Or perhaps I came for something more personal." He could feel her breath on his skin, her eyes searching his. There was something forbidden about this, something dangerous. Humans and Zarythians were enemies, after all. This connection, this attraction, it wasn't supposed to happen. And yet, standing there in the silent stillness of the ship, Jake couldn't deny it. "What are you saying?" he asked quietly, though he already knew the answer. Zyrra's fingers traced lightly along his jawline. "There is something between us, Captain. Something our species have both feared and longed for." Her voice was soft, almost a whisper now. "I feel it, and so do you." Jake swallowed, his mind racing. He had always been a soldier, a protector of humanity, but now, faced with this strange and beautiful alien, he felt something he hadn't expected. Desire. And not just physical desire, but a deeper connection, as if their two souls were somehow linked by the stars themselves. "I don't understand," he whispered, even though part of him did. "You don't need to," Zyrra replied. "Not yet." Her lips brushed his, and Jake felt his world shift. It was a kiss like no other, a melding of two worlds, two lives, two enemies who were never meant to be together. And yet, in that moment, nothing else mattered. Not the war, not their differences, not the dangers that loomed outside the ship. All that mattered was the connection between them, a forbidden touch that defied all logic and reason. When they finally pulled apart, Zyrra's eyes were soft, her usual cold demeanor gone. "You know this is dangerous," she said, her voice low. "For both of us." Jake nodded. "I do, but I also know it's worth it." Zyrra smiled, a real smile this time. "Perhaps humans aren't so different after all. The war outside might still rage on, but inside that small corner of the galaxy, something new had begun. A connection, a bond, something that both humans and Zarythians had feared for so long. The possibility of love. It was forbidden, it was dangerous, but for Captain Jake Reynolds and Zyrra, it was the only thing that felt right. And maybe, just maybe, it was the key to ending the war.